The Knights 5 from 6 at home in '98, but they have no Paul Harrigan, no Adam McDougall, the New South Wales State of Origin reps. So that brings it back to the field a little bit. But then again, Canterbury away from home, 2 wins from 5. I think it's now or never for Canterbury if they are to be a force at the business end of the season. Manda says time on. Halligan kicks off in the sunshine in Newcastle. Andrew Johns handing it off immediately. And while we have perfect weather, what about the conditions? Sideline, Peter Mulholland.
Yeah, very, very nice down here, Greg. It's a beautiful afternoon. But as you were saying, the loss of Harrigan, I think young Glenn Grief more than compensates for that at this stage. And certainly Adam McDougall will be missed, but Brett Grogan's been having a great season.
Well, this is Grief here, and he is in a bit of grief.
Yeah, it looks like he's got a knee to his knee or back and some injury there. He's still on the ground, hasn't got up. The trainers will probably get him off as quickly as they can. Not a real good start for the Newcastle Knights with 1 injury already.
Butterfield plays it now. This is Pinchinelli, former Illawarra Steeler and Hunter Mariner, having a fine season for the Knights. Peter Shields. He's been in good form. On the 30, Newcastle's end of the field. Butterfield. He'll be doing the hard yards today like he normally does, but probably even more so without Harrigan. Back to Andrew Johns. They've completed their first set of 6. And Fleming waits for it back on his own 20. One of the best returners of the football in '98, Greg Fleming. Now this is Robert Ralph. 1 out stuff from Canterbury. Hetherington picks up 10 to 15 metres, stealing them out of dummy half. Well, this is a sad sight for Glenn Grief. A big opportunity for him today to start the match in the place of Paul Harrigan. But he's struggling, sideline. Meanwhile, it's Stephen Hughes picked up, upended, over on the far side. Good tackle by Gidley and also Moody. Polamatta finds Glenn Hughes. He goes to the air off the side of the boot. And it's taken there by Lester. He loses the football. Newcastle have it. 35 out from their own line. Sloppy play, Canterbury.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit disappointed. They did go too wide to get the ball a little bit wider from the Newcastle chasers, but a very poor kick there by Hughes. Wanted to get downfield a little bit better than this. When you give Newcastle sort of room, they can hurt you pretty early in the match.
Tony Butterfield plays it 5 from halfway. Pinchinelli up into Canterbury territory. Centre field. Jackson waits for it. Andrew Johns turning it back on the inside. Bit of a fumble there. But they come up with it. That's David Lomax, the Kiwi. Matthew Johns. Place ball, but the gap soon closed. They popped it out the back door. It was Shields. And it's been cleaned up by the captain today, Matthew Johns. Final tackle coming up. Robbie O'Davis to Andrew Johns. Goes to the air. Not a bad kick, but Fleming perfectly positioned. In fact, in the end, the chase wasn't too good, and Fleming comes away with it. 19 metres out from the Canterbury line. Halligan. There's no way through there for the winger. Hetherington, dummy half. This is Grimaldi, and he gets it out to Ralph. So good defence early on from the Newcastle Knights. Canterbury having some trouble to get a roll on here. Their captain, Darren Britt. Final tackle coming up. Polamatta puts the boot to it. Moody gets a good bounce. 25 out from his own line.
I never went 10 metres. Poured your way out, never went 10 metres.
Amanda's got them for being inside the 10 from that kick. Stephen Hughes, the culprit. Penalty to the Knights.
I think Canterbury a little bit disappointed that you can just see them on the left-hand side of the screen there. They were offside, not allowing the player, the Newcastle man there, to run the ball out. Be a little bit disappointed there, Steve Folkes. His team's given away an easy, probably 20 metres.
Pinchinelli, a couple of metres inside Canterbury territory. Good field position. Now it's Butterfield. Playing his 64th match in a row, Tony Butterfield. Borderline today. Had to pass a late fitness test. 15 is David Lomax. To the short side, Peter Shields calling Craigie back on the inside. Switch of play, they go open. And Johns, a great ball over to O'Davis. He pops it back on the inside to Moody. The gap closed on the far side. Now it's Matthew Johns, the double round with O'Davis. Jackson puts it on the toe. Fleming runs it out. Halligan. This is the right winger. Lester. Robert Ralph. Bounced out of one tackle. Can't get away from Jackson. Butterfield in there as well. That's the 20. Canterbury's end of the field. That's a shocking pass, Gary.
Yeah, they'll be a little bit disappointed there, the Canterbury. So a little bit bustled now because Newcastle are getting up in their face very, very quickly. They've actually lost around about 10 metres there. They need to just settle things down, get their backs in there, get some runs through dummy half and get back into this game.
Peter Mulholland sideline, bit of a daunting task to play in front of this parochial Newcastle crowd.
I was just looking at that, Greg. It's an enormous crowd, but they really need to dominate on their last tackle options. And that's been the big problem with Canterbury. I just don't think they dominate. I think Steve Morgan said earlier, they just don't dominate around the halves.
Straight ahead goes Matthew Gidley, 20 years of age, having a fine year. 30 metres out. It's the Knights applying the pressure again. Shields to Pinchinelli. Taken, ball and all.
Wait here, wait here.
Jackson waits for it. Matthew Johns runs to the line. Face ball. Great ball over the top. Moody on the far side. Out of a couple of tackles. Inside the danger zone now. They're 9 metres out. 0-0 the score at Marathon. Long ball to Andrew Johns. Another long one to Craigie. Leicester came up. Grogan, one to beat. Grogan for the corner, into touch. Tried to place the ball on the left hand, but the corner flag beat him. What about the two passes across field from the Johns boys?
Well, that's been the highlight of the game so far, is that the Johns boys are going 20 and 30 metres across field, but great work by Leicester. He thought he knew he was in trouble, had to come and try and make the tackle on Craigie, got up quick. It was just lucky that Travis Norton turned up at the same time to come over and help with this tackle. Right there's Travis Norton. He's covered something like about 30 metres to get to that situation to stop that try.
Great lock forward play by Travis Norton. But they're still inside their red zone. The Canterbury side, they've been parked down here for a while. Somebody needs to get a roll on and get them out of that trouble area.
I think what they might have to do, Greg, is probably start going a little bit wide on the Newcastle side early in their tackle count, because Newcastle come up flying up out of the line and they're like the man one off the ruck. Easy pickings.
Polomouta bringing Travis Norton back on the angle run, but he ran into 3 Knights defenders. Glenn Hughes to Polomouta, kicking. Trying to turn the Knights around. Robbie O'Davis runs back, picks it up, 10 out from his own line. Taken.
It's a very good kick there by Polomouta, mate, knowing that Robbie O'Davis was on the right-hand side of the field. Kick down here to his right, away from him. Very good chase too by the Canterbury side, all onside from the kick.
Gary, that's a pretty good option on an early tackle count too, isn't it? As you were just saying, they're up in their faces. They get an early kick in and make them think twice about that.
Andrew Johns to Peter, he leaves it behind. Gidley cleans up on the far side, turns it back on the inside to Andrew Johns backing up. Up towards halfway, they keep it alive. Jackson back to Peden. That's the halfway. Matthew Johns this time to Shields, taken by Grimaldi and also Hetherington. Final tackle coming up. Andrew Johns, what will he do? Goes to the air, but gives Fleming plenty of time. No real pressure on the Canterbury fullback, but he still runs it back and picks up a good 20 metres.
Well, he's been great at the fullback spot there for the Canterbury side. Gave himself plenty of time to catch that ball. But the best thing about it, he put himself in a position to actually receive it. As now Leicester goes for a break.
Yeah, Leicester got a good ball from Norton. But Pinchinelli came across to trap him along with the winger Grogan. Possession going Canterbury's way. Time in their own half. Sorry, the Canterbury possession is going Newcastle's way, and Canterbury 70% inside their own half. They need to correct that. There's the kick from Hughes. Nobody at the back, although Davis will win the race. Into the in goal, and Stephen Hughes and Halligan traps him. Well, a good kick again from Canterbury.
Well, what they're actually doing the Canterbury side. They're going 2 passes wide on the left-hand side, making sure that they bring the Newcastle forward pack up and in their backs. You see here that goes nice and wide there. That's their lock and their hook away out there. Robbie O'Davis plays short on the left-hand side. Kick it out here. Great chase by Hughes, and of course Darryl Halligan to get Robbie O'Davis in his own 24 in goal.
Short ball, will it go 10? Yes, it will. That's great work by the Johns.
Well, that's pretty poor work by Canterbury. They should cover that up.
Well, caught napping again, Canterbury. Waiting for the long kick. It wasn't there. They didn't cover the 10-metre line.
It was a great opportunity to get another set of 6 against Newcastle. The first time they've been back in there. Have a look at this. There's the man there. That is the hooker. Jason Hetherington was just too deep.
So the Knights have it. After 10 minutes, it's still 0-0. The penalty goes to Newcastle this time, so they'll get back inside Canterbury territory.
Darren Brett.
Another penalty. They're inside the 10 again, Canterbury. The referee says play on. And Jackson takes the tackle, 31 metres out. Centre field, O'Davis at dummy half. Gives it to Butterfield.
Let's go.
This is Lomax. David Lomax, younger brother of Johnny, the North Queensland cowboy. Matthew Johns got the ball to Craigie. He's taken by Lester and also Martini. To the short side, Matthew Johns. Grogan. Brett Grogan for the corner. This time he's going to get a try. Great work, Brett Grogan. Manda checking with the touch judge. Now they're going to check with the video referee, John Yard. But gee, it was great thinking from Matthew Johns, and Grogan had plenty of work to do.
Well, Grogan had gone down there just once before, probably 2 sets of 6 back, and got outside Lester once again. The first time he's come in and made a great tackle. Lester, he's missed him there cold. He should have had him on the left side there. We'll see if he can touch the end goal. Oh. Well, I know his leg's out, but it hadn't hit the ground. I think he's got the ball down just in time.
Tough one.
Very, very tough. You'll see his legs out. Oh.
I don't know, Wiz.
Mate, that's
simultaneous, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to give Travis Norton a big rap again too. Here he comes in this cover defence. Just watching the ball, I think, hits the ground just about simultaneous. You call it a dead heat. It's going to be interesting.
Oh, I think you're right. That's a very... How do you go to the referee with this?
Toss a coin.
Greg Clark?
Well,
get off the fence.
50-50.
No, get off the fence, Greg Clark.
I called it a try first of all. The replay showing that it's touch and go.
No, I think he's touched the ground first, mate. I don't think it's a try.
Well, you can thank Travis Norton for Canterbury if it isn't a try.
Yeah.
Centimetres in it. No try.
Well, that's twice now. But Travis Norton has come from nowhere to save Canterbury. But Brett Grogan, great little in and away there on Lester. That's twice he's done that. Tremendous work by Travis Norton.
Okay, a professional foul, okay? So it's...
Tim Manor giving Darren Britt a warning on the run.
Let's take it easy.
Professional foul before interfering with the quick tap kick from Newcastle. Now it's Martini.
From the dressing room,
20-metre mark.
Who has a bad hook to one leg.
Gillies is out there. Polomata. Well, they found a half a gap there, and Hetherington backs up. Gives it to Halligan. 6 or 7 metres from halfway. Britt. Short ball, Polomata. Finds the support in Fleming, up from fullback. Polomata. Gillies a double round with Polomata. Taken 10 metres inside Newcastle territory. 0-0 the score. 12.5. Kick ahead. Oh, was that a late tackle on Glenn Hughes? He looks to be down and out. Now, slowly but surely, sitting up.
Where's the replay? Glenn Hughes puts it in. Big shoulder. I think it's an accidental elbow there.
also got suspect as well about an elbow going up, but I don't know. Okay, so we're going to put it on report. Okay, so let's do that. We've got a penalty to Canterbury.
Peter Shields on report. Was there an elbow in there? Was it deliberate? Something for the match committee. And Daryl Halligan, just to the right of the uprights, about 29 metres out. We'll have a look at this again, Gary. Definitely late.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything. It was accidental, the elbow coming up. He's gone there with the shoulder. What you got to remember is Peter Shields is probably 6'4", and I think it's Glenn Hughes. He's around about 5'11". It's pretty hard to do.
Well, Daryl Halligan in the record books for the most number of successive goals. 28 is the list now. 28 in a row. Will he make it 29 in a row? He has 90%. His kicking percentages in 98. Halligan. Well, add another one to his record. It's now 29 in a row for Halligan. And Canterbury lead by 2-0, and they should be pretty happy about that. They've been parked inside their own territory. They've had to stop Brett Grogan on 2 occasions from scoring, and they lead 2-0.
Yeah, well, we did speak to Steve Folkes, their coach, just before the start of the game. He said he had a very good feeling about this game, and he said it was going to be pretty tough around the forward area. If they can match it there, the Canterbury side, he said we'll give them a good run for their money.
Newcastle, without Harrigan leading the way up front. And his replacement, Glenn Grief, has a cork thigh. Didn't last long on the pitch.
I don't think he's going to be back either the way it is. It's 100%.
So now it's Canterbury, 25 out from their own line. Martini at dummy half.
Oh, that's captain. Good hands by Brett.
Polamatta. Turning Robbie O'Davis around. He's 10 out from his own line. Runs to the 20. Can't get away from Price. The Queensland State of Origin rep, Steve Price.
One thing the Canterbury side now are really doing is slowing down that play of the ball, which is allowing their defence to get set pretty early. Look at them, there they are, they're all set. No problems whatsoever there. Steve Folkes will be very happy with that.
Butterfield, 10 from halfway. Jackson. Now Matthew Johns. To Peter Shields. Taken by Price. Also Glenn Hughes. Pinchinelli. Andrew Johns, left-footed kick. Leicester allows it to bounce. Trouble here. Real trouble, but there's a knock-on by Jackson with nobody in front of him. Well, another let-off for the Canterbury Bulldogs. They allowed that kick to bounce. The chase was a good one from Jackson. He just couldn't gather the ball in.
Jeez, he's worked hard, hasn't he, Jackson? But there was the ball bouncing there. Leicester let it go. Fleming let it go. There was a hint of maybe he was trying to tackle him before he got to the ball, but there was no report from the linesman.
So now they push it wide through Stephen Hughes, and he finds Gillies off the interchange bench, Simon Gillies. And all of a sudden they're 35 out from their own line, but another let-off, Pete Mulholland.
It is too. I was just saying there before, Gary, the interchange of passes, this is what's going to beat Newcastle. If they get these forwards with interchanges, and as we were saying before the game, then look for that inside ball.
Yeah, it certainly is, but once again, they're going too wide of them, and they're finding Newcastle very, very short, especially on that left-hand side.
It's the halfway mark now for Canterbury. Polamatta nudging it down into that corner again. Davis is going to get back there, right in his own try line. He'll take the tackle. 10 out from the Newcastle Knights line. Canterbury 2-0 in front.
I'll tell you what, your kick is only as good as its chase, and the Canterbury side are doing exceptional in that area, really getting up and putting pressure on the ball carriers as they go wide now.
And Craigie got away from Leicester. Now on the second chase, Leicester comes in to help with the tackle.
The replacement player for Newcastle at number 18 will be Mark Hughes. Sponsored by Thrifty Car and Truck.
Peden plays it. 20 from halfway to the short side. Jackson scampers out of dummy half, picks up 10. Final tackle coming up. Crowd appealing for a penalty, but it's play on. Andrew Johns. And Greg Fleming back there. A lot has been said of the fact that Greg Fleming is an old Newcastle boy, but the nephew of the great Les Johns, Australian fullback and Canterbury fullback. And Les Johns in the crowd today to have a look at his nephew and the old club run round. 12 from halfway. That's where Polomouta plays it. Gillies. Norton. Well, I don't think Travis was really expecting that one. It went backwards, fortunately, for Canterbury. Polomouta back on the inside to Stephen Hughes. Into a little bit of space. Got his legs cut from underneath him by Jason Moody. The penalty goes to Canterbury.
Yeah, Jason Moody just holding on just too long there. One of the quick play the ball, the Canterbury side. They really find a lot of holes around that ruck area. Joe Halligan is disappointed. No, I'm not going for goal. This is the penalty. Watch how long he holds on there for. He knew the Newcastle boys were all in trouble. They're struggling to get back on side. He probably saved the side 6 points.
Well, this is the best attacking opportunity so far for the Bulldogs. 15 is on there. Mitch Newton. Now it's Price straight ahead. He's about 5 metres out. Hetherington shows it on the blind side, puts the head down, tries to burrow his way across. Held up, half a metre out. Robert Ralph at dummy half. This is Scott Wilson. Wilson and 14 from the interchange bench. Stephen Hughes, Polomouta, Travis Norton. Norton can't get away from Andrew Johns, and the final tackle on the way. Polomouta to the air he goes. Towards Halligan's wing. Taken and then knocked on by Newcastle. The penalty goes to Canterbury.
Let's have it, let's have it.
Offside play.
2 points.
They will shoot for goal, and Daryl Halligan will try and kick his 30th in a row.
I'll tell you what, at the Newcastle side, look, they looked like they were gone. I thought they might have changed their mind, the doggies. Actually decided to try and run the ball. But I'll tell you what, you saw Matthew Gidley. Here's the kick put up by Polomouta. Just watch Matthew Gidley. He's on the second end from there on the right. There he goes and pushes Halligan out of the road. He's dead set lucky he doesn't get penalised. He comes back and cleans up. The referee penalised him for being offside. A lot of players are doing that now, Greg, trying to give their player a protection, but actually pushing the bloke out of the way. I think you're going to see a lot more penalties come for that in the near future.
It's just dumb though, Gary, isn't it? They've got to look like they're contesting for that ball, even if they jump in the air. They look like they're contesting for the ball, but just to run and shoulder a bloke out like that.
Well, that's what he did. He ran and shouldered the bloke out straight away.
Gary, if you remember last week against Cronulla too, we were just talking about the left side Canterbury attack. That's that same right side Newcastle defence was having awful troubles against Cronulla early on.
Yeah, it is too, actually, yeah.
20 in from the far touch, and about 19 metres back for Daryl Halligan. Well within his range. It's there again. 2 from 2 for Halligan, so it's now 4-0 Canterbury over Newcastle. 30 in a row for Halligan. 21 minutes gone. And that 4-0 advantage, Pete Mulholland, really against the run of play.
It certainly is, but you've got to give Canterbury credit. I'd like to see their completion rates. I think you're going to find that they're right up there, you know, around about the 100%. There we go now, 7 out of 7. I mean, that's tremendous, and that's the way to win a game of rugby league.
Especially against Newcastle, you really do have to starve them with the ball, starve the Johns boys of ball so they can stop creating things on the edge of the ruck.
And I think, as you said before, Gary, the kick is only as good as the chase, and by the gee, they've got a great chase on today.
Scott Wilson. That was short ball to Price. He handed it back. It's on the ground, and Newcastle come up with it. Well, that's good defence by Lee Jackson.
Yeah, he's been in everything today. Come up with a great tackle on Martini there.
Daniel Smales, young man getting an opportunity, only his 7th appearance for the night today. Errors, 2-1. And Matthew Johns inside to Gidley, taken by Price. Looking for their first points here, but no, Price has stolen it. It was 1-on-1, and Canterbury come up with it. Simon Gillies
How valuable is Price to this side? He is unbelievable. He is everywhere. We're big front rows. Leicester goes for a bust.
Yeah, great run by Leicester. Still going up towards halfway. Gavin Leicester. Now it's Polamaunda. Wide through Wilson. And Fleming's up from fullback. Thought he spotted a gap. Got away from Andrew Johns. You won't hear me say that all that often today. Polamaunda runs to the line. Gives it back to Ralph. Ralph! Oh, Davis to beat. Got it back to Scott Wilson. Final tackle. The Knights are in trouble. They go to the left. Gillies, Newton, Halligan. He's put it down. Is it knocked back? No, it's a knock on. Well, what about Robert Ralph? He found himself in space.
And put the foot to the floor and just went for it, didn't he? Got a good ball away. Here he is busting away from Lee Jackson. I thought he had him tied up there. Look at him pushing down and go, go, go. He was going. Picked up Scotty Wilson, but when they went out to the left-hand side, they just weren't deep enough the Canterbury side. They just stood and passed and come up with a mistake.
So Peter Shields got a ball back on the inside to Moody. 6 from halfway. Johns, Andrew, inside Canterbury territory. Matthew Johns. The ball to Smales. Tried to put him through the gap, but it soon closed. Andrew Johns. Matthew kicking ahead. And he is back there again, Greg Fleming, and again he returns the football, picking up plenty of metres.
Oh, he's having a great Greg Fleming. Tremendous stuff there, taking the ball on the run and making 15 or 16 metres. But what about Price, putting the pressure on Johns?
There's Mitch Newton. The big man will play it, 10 from halfway. Gillies, no it's not, it's Britt the captain, up to halfway. 4-0. The Doggies over the Knights. This is Mitch Newton. And they complete another set of 6. Norton kicking ahead. Robbie O'Davis takes it in the field of play, so he has to run it out of the in goal.
Don't the crowd rise to the occasion. Just as he gets the ball, they're all there. But look at the Canterbury defence. They're just swarming him. The crowd calling for a penalty, and they'll get it.
Yeah, the onus is on you, Mitch, okay? I've had a couple of borderline on there, Darren. A couple of borderline ones. No, get it right.
Been around for a while, Mitch Newton. A lot of experience coming off the interchange bench, but giving away the penalty there. Peden.
Yeah, that's a silly penalty because what they wanted to do was roll away quickly to burn up the tackle count and keep the Knights down there. They were struggling to get back on side. It just doesn't make sense.
Shields on the 40. Andrew Johns finds Craigie. And now it's Hughes down the left-hand side. Kicks back on the inside. Giving chase is Gidley. Gidley's going to win the race. Matthew Gidley gets the try. But once again, the referee wants to check it with the video referee, John Yard. Manda just asking the question.
I'm pretty sure it's right, John, but I haven't got a clear view of it.
So have they hit back? They've had one try disallowed. Well, again, they found space through the Johns pass.
Oh, nice wide long balls there, picking up, of course, Owen Craigie. But what about Gidley to have the sense? He's pointing to the air, going right, I'm going right. And I tell you what, Travis Norton, this is the try. Does he get the hand down on it? Yes. As the referee said, he thought it was pretty right, but he just wanted to double check. Good work by the referee, Tim Manda, in requesting that. There he goes, down the block. So you can see Gidley on the right-hand screen, put the hand up. That's where Fleming, the fullback, should have known. Again, Travis Norton coming across and cover. He should have fell back, gone back deeper to cover that kick.
That's just a straight-out try, but you're right, Gary. That was an inside man, or an inside position that Fleming needed to maintain. Travis Norton had that covered, but again, young Leicester was found wanting on the wing from a Matthew Johns pass. Great centre kick too, wasn't it?
Oh, tremendous work, these two young blokes. They're working so good with each other. Well, that's the beauty about this Newcastle side, that they'll put themselves in a position to score these sorts of tries. Oh, and aren't they happy about that?
The Knights fans on their feet. Something to celebrate at long last. 4-all, Newcastle and Canterbury at Marathon. This is the first clash between Newcastle and Canterbury since 1995. The Knights won that one 42-0. But of course, if you remember, Canterbury went on to win the grand final that year. Another look at it here. And the Johns pass through Craigie just gives him so much space. And Mark Hughes down the left-hand side and the foresight to kick infield for the man they call Gids the Kid. Matthew Gidley, the 20-year-old, first try scorer today.
Shane Martini could take a little bit of a rap on that one too, moving in off his man. The numbers were there. It was just absolutely not taking and numbering off.
8 tries in 98 for Matthew Gidley. And Andrew Johns, 20 metres in from touch. Waved away, pushed it out to the right. So it's locked up, 4-all in the sunshine in Newcastle. Another look at it here, just great work by the backs.
Great work by Owen Craigie to pull in that ball and just give it enough time. That was tremendous work, but, you know, Gidley put the hand up, here I am, and he put it in a perfect position. Good little bounce.
So Halligan kicks off. Taken by O'Davis, looking for a runner, finds Butterfield. They didn't have much to show for dominating territory and possession in the first 20 minutes of this match. Now there's one try. Can they go on with it? Or can Canterbury hit back? Possession. Newcastle's favour, 52%. Andrew Johns makes it to halfway. Time in their own half. Well, Canterbury have done something about it. They've been spending 70% of the time in their own half early on in this match. Final tackle coming up. Andrew Johns kicking it over the head of Leicester, sending Fleming back to his own try line. The chase is pretty good by Hughes. But Fleming is in the field of play. Now it's Leicester. Halligan. The forwards are back there. They've regrouped. Mitch Newton still can't make it to the 20. And that's 4 tackles gone. Scott Wilson hands it over to his skipper, Britt. Back into Wilson. Hetherington. Newton.
Oh, just trying to get the arms free there, Newton. If he could have picked up that player, I think it was Polamander backing him up. There could have been all sorts of trouble for Newcastle.
Polamander. Right into the arms of O'Davis. Crowd favourite here.
Neil Finchonelli, number 11, leaving the field for the Knights. Neil, sponsored by Northlake Networking, providing the Knights with all their communication needs.
Jason Beauty plays it. 17 is on there. That's Denny Medeiros. Lomax off the interchange bench again. Played a test or two for New Zealand in '93 alongside Gary Freeman.
Oh, long ball, beautiful stuff.
Hughes, who was heading into touch, so he had to throw it back in field, and Canterbury come up with it. They're looking dangerous on this left wing. It looks as if they're targeting Leicester's wing.
I think what happens is Canterbury plays so short on this right-hand side, they are found wanting, you know, and the poor bloke Leicester's been left with 2 or 3 players at a time.
Wilson.
I think also, Gary, they're playing up and in as Canterbury traditionally do, and they're catching them out. There's no slide whatsoever on it, is there?
Simon Gillies having a breather. This is Britt. 35 out from the Newcastle line. Newton. Polamander. The kick ahead from Fleming. Hughes fumbles in goal and over the dead ball line. Just put a foot on the dead ball line, so they'll have a restart with a goalmouth dropout.
He did the right thing, though. He played to the referee, to the whistle. You know, he might have known that he put his foot there. Just come up with a bit of a fumble there. He's played pretty well since he's been on the field. It's a mistake that he'd be a little bit disappointed with, but he'll certainly bounce back because he has played very well.
Best thing too, Gary, he hung onto the ball in the end goal, as a couple of others haven't done this weekend already.
Would you like to name them?
No.
I start those stories, Peter Mulholland.
Ralph. So this is great field position for Canterbury, but they need to come up with a 4-pointer just to get their confidence going. Take away the 4 tries they scored against Manly. They've only scored 1 try in their last 4 matches. Or last 3 matches.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think you dropped him, mate.
The referee saying, I thought you dropped it. You've got to go with my ruling.
You can see the hand in there. No, he has dropped it. He dropped it cold. Jason didn't know that he's a little bit disappointed in that.
The Knights. Oh, there's a drop ball from Badiris. The referee's got to be consistent with that ruling. He just got Hetherington for dropping it.
No, they're okay.
Well, he's dropped it before he's actually got there. Big fella Mitch Newton might have just had his left hand in there, but I think he's dropped it cold.
Yeah, okay, just wait.
Mitch Newton having a breather, and Stephen Price is back out there.
Okay, there we go.
Travis Norton playing 5'8", and Scott Wilson puts it down on the first tackle. Scotty was entitled to take that one.
Peter Mulholland was saying before, their completion rate has been excellent. Up to the last probably 2 sets of 6, they've dropped it on the first and second tackle. I'll be pretty disappointed with that. Scotty Wilson just a little bit of a Bo Peep, the man coming in to make the tackle on him.
Sponsored by Next Gen Systems, excellence in corporate database software.
Now it's Craigie.
Get away, get away!
Davis in dummy half to Lee Jackson. Lomax charging onto it. Inside Canterbury territory. Matthew Johns, gave it to Smales, who was absolutely smacked in the tackle.
And by the littlest man on the field, Craig Polamauna.
Andrew Johns, long ball to Craigie. Craigie back inside to Grogan. He left it behind. It's been picked up by Andrew Johns. He bounced out of one. There's the long ball back into the middle of the park. Butterfield is there. Back to O'Davis. They're going nowhere, the Knights. They didn't panic in defence, the Canterbury Bulldogs. Charged down by Matthew Johns. It's still the 5th tackle. Back to Butterfield. He can't get rid of it. That's great work by Canterbury.
Well, they really got up in their face. They did. They put a lot of pressure on them. Didn't stop at the end of the line. Make sure they want to get up there. Stop the kicking it away. This is Matthew Johns putting the kick across. Hits him straight in the head. You'll find that was Robert Ralph.
Price. Inside Newcastle territory. To the short side they go, Grimaldi.
You can see Canterbury, they're playing down this right-hand side. They're right. They should be going to the left. It's very short out there for Newcastle.
Travis Norton hands it on to Britt. He can't find a way through the Knights' defence. Peden and also Andrew Johns. Now it's Polamaunda. Moody stands his ground, takes it well, and he's taken by Halligan.
So, Gary, that kick was on the tackle before, wasn't it? You were talking about it being so short on that side. I mean, it was quite easy.
Yeah, I can't understand, like, they seem to be kicking one tackle too late and running at one tackle too early. And they give another penalty away from not getting back the 10 metres.
Andrew Johns to Butterfield.
I think that comes down to vision, doesn't it, Gary, and control of the halfback in that situation.
Well, that's where Craig Polamaunda must get in. and saying, well, here, boys, this is where we're going. Give me the ball now.
Andrew Johns, Billy Peden. 4-4, just the one try in the first half. Try to Gidley for Newcastle, 2 penalty goals to Halligan for Canterbury. And now Polamatta comes up with it. Peter Shields couldn't control the football, standing out in the centres. Now it's Simon Gillies. Leicester finding some space. Davis and Matthew Johns stop the momentum.
There's no way Newcastle are onside.
There's the kick into the inside. Davis getting back and cleaning up, and Wilson grabbed him immediately. Well, this is certainly a different Canterbury side that we saw go down last week to North Sydney.
Well, their defence has improved, hasn't it? They've only come up with one mistake so far. They've scored a try Newcastle only from a kick. Canterbury, what they need to do now is finish the centre six without Newcastle getting out of the 30-metre zone.
Shields plays it. Jackson out of dummy half. Johns got the ball around the corner to Grogan. He had to stop to pick it up. There's a kick over the top. The bounce is good for Jackson. He's got numbers on the inside. Andrew Johns. Now it's Gidley. He's been called back for a forward pass as he puts it down. No try.
Right here.
They have butchered it. Unmarked men outside, and they've thrown a forward pass.
What about the vision, though, of Andrew Johns to put the little chip over? This is the pass. Well, that's a good decision there by the referee. Glenn Hughes was coming across in cover, but just couldn't pick him up. Actually, that was Stephen Hughes. Gidley was in again. But it was good vision by Johns. Put the little chip over. What about the work from Lee Jackson? He's having an absolutely sensational game.
So now it's Canterbury. Back up towards halfway. Britt got it back now to Price. Hetherington. There's Hetherington. He spotted an opening and he's going to pick up 20. Got it back to Travis Norton. He needs support. Norton linking up with Polamatta. And that's a good ball and all tackle from Gidley. For a moment it looked like it was try time. Norton goes wide. Halligan. Halligan taking on Moody. Cut back in field. Got clobbered. Billy Peden got across in cover to the short side. No, they switch it back to Wilson and Norton. Travis Norton, the little grubber kick for Martini. He can't pick it up. That's the handover on the final tackle.
It's just so good to see Canterbury actually trying things with the ball in their hand. They put the little grubber kick in. Martini could have held that up. It would have been pretty close, touch and go. Good little kick there. Just got his hand in there, Matthew Johns, to save the day for Newcastle.
Robbie O to play it. Now it's Shields, straight ahead. 4 apiece. A little over a minute remaining in the first half at Marathon. Should be a great second half, this one. Canterbury. A form reversal from them. And Newcastle keeping the Bulldogs tryless in the first half so far, but really scrambling in defence on occasions to stop them. Now it's Scott Wilson, who's back at fullback. Stephen Hughes gives it to Gillies. Leicester plays it, 10 from halfway. Gillies again. So this could be their last chance in the first half to get that 4-pointer. Britt goes straight ahead.
Listen, Canterbury, they need to go wide now.
The kick ahead and straight into the arms of Robbie O'Davis. Well, the kick may have been a good option, but certainly it was a bad execution that worries me. As the halftime siren sounds, and they'll take the tackle. So that's it for the first 40 here at Marathon Stadium in Newcastle. A real tight one. All the statistics going into this match, we're pointing to a Newcastle win Even when you look at for and against, Newcastle scored 55 tries, conceding 29. Canterbury only 39 tries scored, conceding 45. But it means nothing at the moment because it's 4-all, and we're underway in the second 40. We'll get some reaction from the dressing rooms before too long. And it's the first hit up now. First return to the football for Tony Grimaldi from Canterbury. Well, let's go sideline now to the chief, Paul Harrigan. Paul, no doubt disappointed not to be out there, but what was said at half-time?
It wasn't too much of a flash report from Al. Our completions are down a little bit, but to tell you the truth, you know, Canterbury are really all over the top of us in the play the ball area. We're struggling to go forward because of that, and you know, they've always been aggressive on the ground, Canterbury. We've always had trouble with them, and it's been nothing different today. But man, I was a little disappointed, but mate, we're not panicking. We know the areas we've got to pick up, and hopefully we can do it.
Well, certainly that's what you did last week too, Chief, against Cronulla. No one really did panic. They stayed in there to the last minute. What did you say to the boys just before they walked out at half-time, though?
Mate, I can tell you there's a little bit of a difference, I think, between today and last week. I think we're a little bit more flustered because things are just not going right for us on the ground. We get beat fairly convincingly on the ground, so hopefully we can keep the cool sort of calibre that we kept last week, but we'll have to wait and see.
And okay for next Friday night in Origin 3, Chief?
Still a long way to go, mate. My knees, you class it just about on track, I suppose, but still, it's pretty sore. I'd like to think I'm a chance, but I think they'll give me a couple more days, and hopefully by Wednesday I'll know for sure. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today, mate, and good luck with the race against the clock for Origin 3 and with the Newcastle Knights today as well. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. All right. Okay, 10 from halfway. It is the Knights, and Peter Shields trying to play it as a final tackle. Sloppy play the ball. He had players hanging off him everywhere. And now they find some open spaces with the kick, heading for that far touchline and into touch. Oh, good territory gain there by the Newcastle Knights.
It's a very good kick, gaining them something like around about 40 metres up the other end of the field. Matthew Johns is the man that put the kick in. Andrew Johns, I should say. It's one thing that the Newcastle side have to do. They were struggling to get out of their half, and he needs to take control of that kicking area and maybe kick maybe a tackle earlier to stop the Canterbury side racing up and putting pressure on it.
We're just having a look here at another replay for the benefit of the video referee. Was it a 40-20? Outside the 20, outside the 40.
40, that was outside by a mile.
So just checking. Now it's play on. And Canterbury inside their own 20. Reaction from the Canterbury dressing room now, and their trainer is Billy Johnston. What was said by Steve Folkes, Billy?
Oh, he's quite happy with the first half, you know, as indicated by the scoreboard. So, well, look, we're just looking to go with a bit more support through the centre. They're just going a bit one out, and he's changed a few things around in defence as well this week, and it seems to be working okay for us.
Yeah, I mentioned at half-time, Billy, that I just can't believe the turnaround from last week, and I guess that's the frustration for Steve Folkes and the staff as well. As we see the kick ahead now, and Travis Norton trying to pick it up. They keep it on the toe, and it's anybody's over on the far side and into touch, but a dramatic turnaround, Billy.
Yeah, well, I think the guys realised that it was a bit embarrassing against North Sydney, so, you know, they've made the effort to turn that around themselves.
Well, one thing I've noticed too, Bill, is they're getting off the line very quick, the Canterbury side, and putting the Newcastle side under a bit of pressure, not allowing them much freedom at all, especially the Johns boys.
Yeah, well, you know, they're obviously their linchpins, you know, and if we can shut them down a bit, where we're going halfway to win the game.
Okay, Billy, good luck with the rest of it. Thanks for joining us, and
Thanks,
it is Canterbury. 32 metres out from the line. Wilson a dummy half. This is Ralph. Ralph takes him on. Gidley's there underneath. Over the top was Shields. Hetherington. Darren Britt straight ahead. The captain carries two or three of them for a couple of metres. Good opportunity for the Canterbury Bulldogs to score first in the second half. That will be a psychological blow. Fleming is there, up from fullback. Can't find a way through Andrew Johns and Billy Peden, though. Travis Norton, Polamaunda shows it and then has a go on his own. They don't fall for it. Pinchinelli and Shields, the second rowers, right in front of the uprights. Now it's Scott Wilson. Goes to the air. Sitting up there, O'Davis is underneath it. Takes it brilliantly.
Oh, how good is he at the back there? Robbie O'Davis. Tremendous take. They're under heaps of pressure. got plenty of help from the rest of his players, but that was great work. Look at this, gets above everybody else. Again, Lee Jackson doing a great job of giving that protection there for Robbie O.
All the way, Scott.
To the short side they go, and Butterfield. 10 from halfway. Piccinelli just settling things down a bit after surviving the onslaught. The opening minutes of the second half. Peden up to halfway.
Okay, last one.
Final tackle coming up now. Andrew Johns pushing it into the corner and getting a brilliant bounce. Well, if anybody knows the blades of grass here at Marathon, Andrew Johns certainly does it. Obviously practice that kick time and time again.
Many a times you would have been staying here after training to do those sorts of kicks and put these sides under a lot more pressure. What they're doing now, they're playing very controlled football here in Newcastle, making sure they're getting Canterbury right back at their own 25 and putting them under a bit of pressure to bring this out and hopefully not make mistake Canterbury, but for Newcastle, they'd love one.
Polamatta at dummy half. They've left it behind, but fortunately it went back and it's been cleaned up by Fleming. Hetherington at dummy half. Now it's Britt. Allowed to offload, got it back to Hetherington. Now it's Travis Norton. Norton, half a gap. It closed when he came to O'Davis and Piccinelli helped out. That's the halfway mark. Polamatta across to Wilson, shows it on the inside, takes the tackle. Andrew Johns read that perfectly. Polamatta again. O'Davis back near the 10-metre mark. Taken by Price.
Great tackle, Stephen Price.
Now it's Moody. Can't get away from Stephen Hughes. Crowd appealing for the referee to get Canterbury back 10 metres. There's a penalty in the play the ball area, though.
You're holding him down. Darren, you are holding him down, mate, okay? That's all there is to it. Straightforward, hold down.
Okay, and Newcastle were complaining about the fact that Canterbury were winning the battle on the ground in the first half. By that, I'm sure Chief meant they were holding down.
Well, they certainly were holding down, but that wasn't any longer than the other two tackles that were made previous.
You're right, Gary. I was just going to say that it's just an inconsistency, isn't it? That's a hard penalty too, because they're just starting to get some pressure on them.
Well, tell me if this tackle is any shorter. No.
Jackson, Johns to Piccinelli. Johns complaining that he was taken out late. Now it's Jackson rolling on. Gives it to David Lomax. Front of the uprights, 22 metres out. Andrew Johns. Inside it goes to Peden.
Oh, great cover by the Canterbury side.
Fleming took his legs from underneath him.
We've got a touch judge over here, mate. All right.
The touch judge is on. Has he got them for a late tackle on Andrew Johns?
Yes, okay. Just wait, you don't know what it is yet, Craig. Move away. Move away. What's up? No, you tell me what's up.
After the players kick the ball, pass the ball,
right.
Polamatta's come from some distance away, knocked him over.
Right.
Nothing high, but it's late and it's deliberate. He wasn't committed.
So it's just a penalty.
It's just a penalty.
You go to the spot, thanks, mate. Craig, come here, mate. Yeah, listen. I don't know what I've got to say, mate. Okay, the guys come. Toucher just said that you came into the tackle late, mate. You've taken the guy out, so we're going to go back up here for a penalty. Let's go. Darren.
I can't believe this, because here's the penalty here, bang, there. Now, if the touch judge thought something was wrong with that, why did he come on straight away? Why did he let them go for another 2 tackles, then come back 30 metres to give away the penalty?
Why didn't he talk to the referee? They are communicating out there through the help of
I can't believe
communication system. Anyway, the penalty goes to Newcastle. It's still 4-4 here, and Butterfield runs into Britt. Now it's Piccinelli.
And Stephen Price is down injured. He's just getting back into the defence line now.
Matthew John switch of play to Andrew Johns. Taken by Polamatta, but allowed to get the pass back to Gidley. And Gidley was taken by Gillies. Jackson held up right in front of the uprights.
No, you dropped it. You dropped it. I told you before, Lee. You do that, I'm just going to let it go. You've dropped it.
I get the feeling Lee Jackson doesn't agree with the referee.
Yeah, I might agree with you there, Greg. There's the tackle here. He goes down on the ground. We'll just see what happens here. Wow, I think he's given himself up, actually. He nearly lost his temper. Well, that's what Canterbury did. Canterbury did very well. That was the 18th tackle in a row that Newcastle were going to have the ball for.
Glad you cleared that up.
Yeah.
On the 20-metre mark. To the short side they go. Mitch Newton. Tried to offload to Wilson, who was into space. And that's what Billy Johnson was talking about. They want to support the ball carrier a bit more in the second half. Waiting for it at dummy half is Hetherington. A lack of points here, but certainly plenty of intensity at Marathon. Robbie O'Davis inside his own 10-metre mark. Taken near the 20. Grogan. Pretty active in the first half. Denied a couple of tries. Now it's Butterfield. This parochial crowd very quick to let the ref know that they're not happy about incidents from time to time. Now it's Billy Peden back on the inside to Craigie. There's Travis Norton again. Gee, there's a lock forward. He covers some ground, plays the perfect number 13 game in cover defence. Johns to Butterfield. I think he was having a quick breather at the back.
He was out playing outside centre.
Moody. Matthew Johns.
You notice that centre six. They didn't make even 10 metres in the Newcastle side. They are getting very, very frustrated by this Canterbury defence.
Gary, they really do miss the thrust of a Paul Harrigan or even a Glenn Grief in this go-forward department, don't they?
They certainly do. That is one area that they are falling. I know Butts does his best to take the ball forward. They just need one more good front rower to get that easy yards for them. The first time I've actually seen the Newcastle side actually wait in defence instead of getting up in everyone's face.
You've got to start to think also whether a certain Solomon Haumono would make some sort of impact here today for Canterbury. Now there's a name missing today.
A pleasure to have him on board, wouldn't it, today?
Thank you very much for that. Inside Newcastle territory. And Fleming needed support. Didn't quite get there in time. But Canterbury putting up a real showing today. Out to Stephen Hughes. Inside pass. Knocked down, it's play on. It's another set of 6 if they want them. Grimaldi, quick play the ball. Stephen Hughes picks up 10. Driven back into the turf by Gidley. Wilson a dummy half. Chance here for Canterbury. Can they score that elusive try? Gillies, 5 metres out. Who's going to spark something? Hetherington can't burrow his way across. Leicester at dummy half. Polamaunda. Wilson, Scott Wilson, tried to step past his old Perth teammate, Peter Shields. Shields knew that sidestep. There's a kick in behind the line, but they've made a real mess of it. Stephen Hughes trying to beat the defensive line, kicking in behind it.
Well, it was the right option, just get the wrong execution there. Just drops the ball and gets underneath the ball instead of over top of it. They needed a repeat set of 6 there on the Newcastle side because Newcastle looked like then they were going for all money. And Canterbury, they still lack that enthusiasm or that punch to put that side out of whack.
Pinchinelli plays it. This is Moody. (17) Danny Buteris. Waiting for it a dummy half. And there's the kick, and was it a late tackle? No, it's play on. Fleming. This time he can't beat the chasers. Buteris was there.
Lester's come in and done some work today for the Canterbury side, coming off his wing there, taking the ball up off the ruck.
Greg, that's one thing Canterbury have got to keep doing. They don't do it at every set of 6, and that's put pressure on the Johns brothers, the kickers. They've just got to keep working at that, because sooner or later a charge down will come.
11 from halfway.
Pacific Street in Newcastle.
Good metres out of dummy half by Travis Norton, but where was the support? It wasn't there in time again. Now it's Polamaunda. Polamaunda kicking for Halligan. He's not going to get near it because Robbie Davis is back there, and he'll take the tackle of Norton, and also in there was Stephen Hughes.
Well, great work again by the Canterbury chasers to get down there and put Robbie over a bit of pressure. Now Newcastle goes wide. Out to Grogan.
Yeah, look at this now, the completion rate. Canterbury are picking back up again. Newcastle still falling down a little bit on that, Gary.
Yeah, they're completing their sets of 6, but they're just lacking a little bit of enterprise at the same time. But I'll tell you what, you've got to take your head off the Canterbury defence. They have really changed from last week.
Straight ahead goes Lomax. Final tackle, there's the kick, and here comes the reply from Fleming. Defence has been pretty solid out there today. Missed tackles, Newcastle 13, Canterbury 10. Well, some sloppy play by Canterbury on that occasion. Never controlled the football. Grogan plays it.
Just one of that ball actually did come off his head, and I thought Grogan over there had actually knocked the ball on.
And Canterbury appealed for that decision to go their way. Piccinelli. But there is a dummy half. Matthew Johns to Shields, charging onto it. Got a good ball back. Johns couldn't control it.
0.
So now it's tackle 0 for Canterbury. Simon Gillies.
16, leading South 10. Balmain 20, Illawarra 10. And St George 16, lead North Queensland 10. Replacement for Newcastle in 18, Mark Hughes.
Now it's Miss Newton.
Leaving the field.
As Hetherington waits for it. Polamaunda. Switch of play back on the inside.
I think they just needed one more pass in there, Gary, right up the middle again, as you were saying earlier.
Yeah, well, the Newcastle side virtually aren't moving up around that ruck area whatsoever. I think this is a good time, really, for Polamaunda to put a kick in early in the tackle count.
And instead he goes wide through Scott Wilson. And it's Scott Wilson that puts the kick in. Trying to turn them around. The bounce is there for Robbie O'Davis, and Halligan claims him in goal. So when you don't score the try, that's the next best result. Trap them in goal and get another crack at them.
It was good vision there by Scott Wilson to see that Robbie O'Davis, you can see him, he's on the right end, right in the middle of the field there, and he had plenty of work to do to get to that ball as Halligan comes up with a tackle, which will give them the repeat set of 6. But I'd just love to see Polamaunda go to the line just a little bit more today.
So Davis with a slight limp.
Go.
40-metre restart by Andrew Johns. 18 is Trent Runciman, making his debut for the Bulldogs. Congratulations to him. Let's hope it's a memorable one. 4-all. That was the half-time score. Just the one try in the match so far. That was to Gidley for Newcastle. They've had a couple disallowed. Travis Norton wide they go to nobody. Cleaned up though by Lester, and he's driven back in the tackle by Andrew Johns. Got a pat on the back from Billy Peden for a great effort. Ralph. Polamaunda. Got it to stop. In goal. Oh, Davis, no trouble getting out of there.
What about the little jinking away? Oh, Davis doing a great job there for a side to get them out of trouble once again.
Gary, in that set of 6, Canterbury went 4 tackles, or 3 tackles to set up for one big play, and then another go forward. They're just not offering anything that's creative.
Well, that's what I think is leading Canterbury down while they can't score tries, because no one's putting themselves in a position out wide or around that ruck area to try and put this Newcastle side away.
Pinchinelli got the inside pass. And now he leaves it behind, cleaned up by Gidley, but they'll play the knock on. Canterbury will get it again.
You can see Mitch Newton there clapping the boys and said, come on, we've got them, they're turning them around. Just watch him here. He just goes out a shot, he starts clapping, says, come on, and patting everyone on the back. This is a great position in the field to attack from. Right in the middle. Polamatta and the lock, they can do lots of things here. Run around with a kick. Just do something different for the Newcastle side to unsettle them.
So now it's Fleming. Taken by his opposite number of Davis and also Moody. 20-metre mark, 5 tackles in it. Newton to play it. Ralph. Hetherington is off the field at the moment, so that's why he's not a dummy half. The inside pass. Ralph cleans up. For a moment, it looked like they'd coughed it up again. Moody and Smales with the tackle. Norton. Well, there's just no one organising things down there. Ralph at dummy half. He puts the head down, tries to burrow his way across. No way through there. Final tackle coming up. Stephen Hughes to kick him behind the line, and it's been kicked dead now. It came off a Newcastle Knight, so they'll get another set of 6, Canterbury. This will be their 3rd set of 6. And can they come up with something?
Well, they've got to come up with something a little bit different. Turning the ball back inside. But I tell you what, Robbie O'Davis, that was out there for the whole set of 6, and he was injured. He was on the wing. They should be running straight at him as Robbie O now comes to the field.
So it's not too serious for Robbie O. Going straight to the dressing room. So Canterbury. That's their 13th tackle in a row. Runciman plays it to the short side. Now this is Price. Scott Wilson a dummy half. Runciman.
This is Canterbury. They should come down the short side of Newcastle. They are very, very short here.
Wilson in behind the line. Wilson, it's there. Surely it's a try, is it? Stephen Price is claiming it. He got a hand on it. We'll check it with the video referee. Well, maybe they've got that elusive try. The kick from Wilson. It sat there for what seemed like an eternity. Price said, I'll have it. Did he get downward pressure?
Well, this will be a very interesting one. Scotty Wilson seen that they were short, put the little grubber kick in. Just there, I thought he was going to knock it on. And then Moody comes up with a miss. Oh, very, very close indeed. He's saying he's got it. This will give us a better look at this, Peter Mulholland.
It'll be nice and close. That's a great kick from Scotty Wilson. Very, very well executed. But for old Stevie Price, I don't think so.
I reckon that's a try.
I don't think so, Wilson.
I'd like to have another look. Downward pressure is all you have to get on there. For a moment, it looked like it was a try for all money. He certainly got a hand to it. This will tell us.
You see Moody misses it there. Price is there. He's crawling to the ball. That's a try.
Downward pressure on the side of the football. I'll give him 4.
I've given him 4. Peter Mulholland, do you want to change your mind?
No, I don't think so.
Well, you might be right anyway.
I just don't think so. I don't know whether he had control on that. I really don't. I need to slow it down even further here now.
Yeah.
It's too hard to tell this one. I'll let the referee make his mind.
Well, when do you decide if it's control or lack of control?
Soon, I hope.
No try. He did not get enough downward pressure on it, the call. To me, downward pressure is downward pressure.
What? Anyway, that's the man who's made the decision. They were very, very lucky there, Newcastle.
And that's why he's making the decision. He's the video referee. Play on, 4-all. Both sides now have had a try disallowed, but that was crucial for Canterbury because they just lack confidence in attack inside the opposition 20. They could just come up with a 4-pointer. That might be enough to get them going. They're up against a very good side, a side who, with a draw today, will get to the top of the table again. Melbourne leading at the moment. A win here will get Newcastle back to the top outright.
Number 12 for Newcastle, Peter Shields leaving the field. Ticket sponsored by Charlestown Cellars, Great Beer, Fine Wine.
Straight ahead goes Daniel Smales. Inside Canterbury territory, final tackle coming up. Andrew Johns picks the gap between Lester and Fleming and into touch, about 5 out from the corner flag over on the far side.
Oh, well, how good is he? Andrew Johns just putting that ball down the corner there, right in between the two, the winger and the fullback. And this is where Canterbury, they've had so much attack.
And in the last set of 6, it was Canterbury appealing for a try. All of a sudden, they're back on their own try line.
They're 95 metres away from the try line.
Plenty of grass between Canterbury and the try line at the other end of the park. Now it's Wilson at dummy half. That's the 20. Can't help flashing back to last week when North Sydney scored a 34-point victory over Canterbury. And here they are today. They've kept the front runners, the Knights, down to just 4 points after the first 60-odd minutes. So Leicester gets the kick ahead. Mark Hughes is playing fullback with O'Davis off the field.
Well, this is where the Canterbury side want to get off the play very, very quickly, because the Newcastle side are really struggling to get back as they go wide with Jason Moody.
Yeah, some of the forwards are walking back into position. But now Canterbury inside the 10.
That's okay, it's 10. Let's go.
Now it's Pinchinelli. Denny Badiris, a dummy half. Butterfield straight ahead. Andrew Johns finds Matthew and Billy Peden. Taken by Wilson. To the short side they go. Moody. There's the final tackle, and Matthew Johns having a dart out of dummy half. Flicks it out the back door. Wilson will pick it up.
Very lucky for Wilson that he was at the marker area. They've got to go wide now, Canterbury. Oh.
It's been knocked down by Newcastle, and Stephen Price picks it up. Steps. Gives it back now to Lester.
Got to keep going right, Canterbury. They're very short on that side there. Oh, they go the wrong way.
Who's calling the shots? It's Gavin Lester again. Polamauna. Line ball. Was it forward? Yes, it's been called back just as they get across the line. Call back for a forward pass.
Taking a man out.
Obstruction, in fact.
Taking a man out. It was. I saw how rude it.
So he hasn't got for the forward pass. He's got for an obstruction.
All the same, Fleming was the man that took out Butterfield, and couldn't really see that.
10 from halfway. Smales.
Oh, very unlucky there, Robert Ralph. Oh, he's done great there to cover up Gidley.
Tackle count restarts. Here's Butterfield. Gives it to Pinchinelli.
Oh.
He throws it to nobody. Cleaned up by Craigie. Now Grogan's got an overlap on the far side. Brett Grogan. Inside it goes to Craigie. And Craigie's going to race away and score the try for Newcastle. It's taken a while for the fans to get onto their feet in the second half, but they're up there now. And Newcastle lead by 8 points to 4. A wry smile on the face of the Chief. But really, it came from nothing.
Well, once again, it was one of the players slipped over as Big Butterfield takes the ball to the line with Pitchno. The big long ball out to no one. They were short. Martini, when he goes up there, he just slips. And Craigie picks up. Grogan gets out the big right-hand fends him off. Travis Norton gave chase as quick as he could. That ball there was a great ball to pick up Craig, who backed up him from the inside there. Tremendous rep on the young guy.
You always get the feeling they're in control, Newcastle, even if it doesn't look like that. But you have a look at it at 2 again. You've got Martini, who was just stood up a little bit there on the way. Very, very happy boy, young Craigie. But Martini was stood up as he come in. Gavin Lester had to come in, and the overlap was just created. I thought Travis Norton might have nearly had him again there too.
Yeah, he just didn't have enough pace to pick up the flying winger in Grogan, but Canterbury down this end for such a long time. It always happens. You don't come up with a try, someone will score against you all the time.
4 points the difference. 13 minutes remaining. Andrew Johns about 7 or 8 metres in from touch. Back on the 20. We'll get a bird's eye view of this one. He's hooked it. So it's none from 2 for Andrew today. But 2 tries on the board now and 4 points the difference. A try to Gidley, a try to Craigie, and this is how it happened. Butterfield. It was a bad pass from Pinchinelli. And that's basically where the try started.
You can see Martini was just stood up there, and Gavin Lester had to come in, take the man. Travis Norton's matching it, just not quite enough pace. A great ball again from Grogan, and doesn't this kid love scoring a try?
7 tries for the season for Craigie. So the 2 centres have scored a try each today for Newcastle. Well, can Canterbury hit back now? It's Mark Hughes. Peden. Talk about good sides, Gary Freeman having a lot of patience, and that's certainly the case with Newcastle.
Well, they
don't throw everything at them.
Well, they certainly have, you know, and they've held their ground in defence and all the rest of it. But the other thing is, when they get a chance to attack, how good are they? They just let the ball go. People all turn up. This guy here just steers them around the paddock.
Fleming runs it out of his own in goal. Runs into Jackson and also the second rower in Shields. Lester hands it off to Martini. Martini back in the run on side, replacing Matt Ryan. This is Lester. He's had a busy game, Gavin Lester.
That's what Canterbury's got to do with only around about 10.5 minutes left in the game. The score being 8-4. They're going to start throwing the ball around a bit more, as they do now.
Over the top it goes, but Halligan couldn't get a hand on it. Stephen Hughes chancing the arm.
Darryl Halligan just coming on the outside there. The ball was the right thing to do by Stephen Hughes. He knew he was unmarked going down that blind side. Just threw the ball just a little bit too high and too hard.
In fact, if you want to help with any of your communication needs, communicate with your local Optus World store. Communication.
Now it's Matthew Johns giving it to Hughes.
Simple.
Gidley on the halfway. Inside the last 10 minutes here at Marathon. This is Lomax. .38 metres out from the line. Matthew Johns, face ball. Out to Smales. Andrew Johns, midfield bomb. Wilson has to allow it to bounce, but Lester is there, and he's in the field of play. Now Wilson lost sight of that ball in the sun. That could be a ploy by the Newcastle Knights late in this match.
You can see Andrew Johns setting up there for that kick to put them under a lot of pressure. And now what they're going to do now is swarm in on the Canterbury Blokes if they do not spread out around the field.
Yeah, Scotty Wilson's on for Greg Fleming too, so they might have just picked something there as well.
Let's go.
28 metres out from the line, the Bulldogs. Well, they're all flat. They put it through the hands. There's the kick. And Hughes picks it up. The inside pass to Moody. Lomax. Gidley, one of the try scorers. Over to Craigie, the other try scorer. He's taken on the halfway mark.
Number 15 for Newcastle, David Lomax leaving the field. He's replaced by number 11, Neil Piccinelli.
What about their backs, the Newcastle side? They just get in there, they have a run out of dummy half or one off the ruck. Just give their forwards a bit of a break. It's good signs of a good class side.
This is Shields. Final tackle coming up. Andrew Johns picking the gap again. Lester, he has some work to do to get out of there. Can't do it. And the crowd applaud. Good crowd here today as well, enjoying the sunshine. 21,717, better than their average of 20,400. They've been treated to a real tight one here today.
You just see Lester there, he just fell over at the last second when he went to pick the ball up. It was a great chase there by Smales, and of course, their hooker, Lee Jackson.
Here's Hughes, handing it on to Butterfield. Tony Butterfield, his 64th match in a row. He's been a good servant for the Newcastle club. Looking for the clincher now, the Knights. Andrew Johns, switch of play, back to Matthew. Runs to the line. Turns it back on the inside. And they keep it alive. It's Jackson straight ahead. They've got them for a forward pass.
Thanks, mate.
I think you'll find that forward pass has come off Piccinelli, but he did show great hands, the big second rower. Caught the ball probably around about a couple of inches off the ground. Watch this. Oh, that is very, very good. The referee reckons that was forward. I think they're a little bit hard done by.
Got a call from the touch judge. So at the wrong end of the park, the Bulldogs. Here's Scott Wilson trying to step his way through. Hetherington. He gave it to Newton, who was basically flat. Now it's Britt. Time running out for the Bulldogs. Crowd thought there was a little knock on, play on though, and Price gives it to Hughes.
Well, this is where Canterbury really got to run a little chip kick and chase.
And it's Glenn Hughes with the headgear out there. The high bomb on Hughes. He's left it behind.
But I'm telling you, Lee Jackson should be penalised for that, and he will be, because he took Darryl Halligan out of play.
Hey. No one's happened yet.
Touch judge on with the report.
He knocked the Canterbury player chasing the ball.
Lee, here, please.
Referee Freeman was right on the spot.
Tasha's got a report here, mate. Just listen in. Please stand up.
Against him. He's come across outside where the ball's going to bounce. Deliberately ran into a Canterbury player chasing the ball.
That's it, Lee. Wait for it.
Knocked him out of any effort to get the
Okay, you go to the mark. Thanks, Cole. You've heard the report. Penalty. Right there. Thank you.
Well, this is a great kick by Stephen Hughes. Watch Darryl Halligan there. There he is, Lee Jackson. Takes him right out of the play.
Mate, he's lucky to be still on there for this last 5 minutes.
Canterbury.
Oh, good work, Andrew Johns. Get off the line quickly and put that player on the ground, and Darren Brett.
5 minutes left. They trail by 4, the Bulldogs. Glenn Hughes straight ahead. 11 metres out from the line. They haven't been able to cross the line legally today.
Forward.
That was a forward pass. And Robert Ralph is called back, and they're going to pack down a scrum.
No, we had a couple of calls, that one. that too. So confirm that one, Darren. Big set, got it.
Wow,
You put it down to fatigue. I mean, that is just a basic error.
I think put it down to communication, lack of communication from the dummy half to the player receiving the ball.
That's what it is too, isn't it, Gary? That dummy half should have just hung on to that.
To the short side they go now. And Peden, the Knights, will be pretty happy just to play out the 6. Get a good kick in the end of it through the boot of Andrew Johns. That may have been the last opportunity for Canterbury. It's the Knights leading by 4, and Butterfield still full of running. Lee Jackson. Butterfield, and they keep it alive, and now Moody cuts back on the angled run. Beats a couple of tackles, makes it to the halfway. There's the kick by Andrew Johns. So they've completed the set. They've turned Canterbury around, and now the Bulldogs, if they're going to snatch victory here at Marathon in front of 21,000 people, they're going to have to do it from their own 20. And that's good defence.
A lot of the Canterbury players now just getting back outside as Jason Henderson goes for a scoot out of dummy half. They've got to put themselves in a position, the Canterbury players, if they want to make some yardage here.
Leicester. Newcastle have been in some tight battles in recent weeks. They look like surviving another one, unless the Bulldogs can come up with the match-winning try, or try to equal the 8 points scored by Newcastle. Piccinelli there to wrap it up, ball and all. They pop it out the back door. He says that's a handover.
Put it down.
Well, I don't think the tackle was completed then. I think they had a fair amount of complaint there, the Canterbury side.
Well, he was going to penalise them if they didn't.
It's a great tackle by Piccinelli to come over the top. There goes the ball there.
Well, the tackle wasn't completed.
Well, he wasn't on the ground.
So Shields receiving some attention. They move the ball away.
At 3. Come back, come back.
Here's Butterfield, the front rower. 28 metres out. So maybe it will be Newcastle that will have the final say here. Andrew Johns, Matthew running to the line, taken. There's the kick by Andrew Johns, turning Leicester around. Grogan flying for it, and Leicester just manages to push it over the dead ball line. Grogan was right on top of him.
Well, Grogan thought the ball was going to travel a little bit quicker than it did. Just watch him. He actually stops running after the ball because he thought, well, Leicester's got to it. He's going to get over the end of the line. Look, he goes, oh! Oh, what a chance gone begging just there.
They still have it now, the Knights. Set to take the 2 competition points here again and remain on top of the NRL in 98. They've had to work hard for this one today. That's a sign of a good team. Andrew Johns turns it back on the inside, and Lomax will play it. Jackson gives it to Matthew Johns. Kicking in behind the line. Moody chases. Hellinger's going to get there first. Into touch and goal. We'll have another restart from between the sticks.
The Canterbury side, I'll try and stay a little bit. This is the replay. Matthew Johns putting the little grubber through. Lucky for Darragh Halligan, he got back there for this Canterbury side. Got the ball over the line. As the Canterbury side went for a short dropout, they knew they had to try and get the ball back straight away.
And the fans counting down the clock. Grogan. Grogan got a great ball out, and they're going to finish with a try. Owen Craigie's going to get a double right on the full-time siren down the short side. These classy outside backs have done it again, and Newcastle have it by 12-4 with the kick to come.
What about Grogan here? Shaped though he's going to kick, stepped off his right foot once again, threw the ball out the little flick pass. And Robert Ralph in the background saying, look, that might have been forward. That's a very, very good try to these youngsters. And they're hot, they're hot. Feel sorry for Canterbury. They really don't deserve to be beaten by that much. Probably a draw would have been a good conclusion to this game.
So that's another try to Craigie. 8 tries all up. And the conversion attempt is waved away. So for the second week in a row, Canterbury have failed to score a try. Full time here at Marathon Stadium, 12-4 Newcastle over Canterbury. And our NEC man of the match, well-deserved, Tony Butterfield. What a great 80 minutes of football again from Butterfield today. There was no Harrigan. He led the charge. So congratulations to him, our NEC man of the match. And once again, full time here at Marathon, the Newcastle Knights, the competition leaders, are still on top of the table. They've beaten Canterbury by 12 points to 4.